Now I'm going to make an eng sound. It's like an E, sort of like a short E, N, G. And I'm going to play with this sound a little bit with the rhythm and the sort of tonality of how it fades in and fades out, how it begins and ends in the middle of the syllables. And I can sort of try this very like wave-like effect playing with this sound. I could do this with any sound. Sometimes I choose to hold a sound more constant, and sometimes I choose to shift a sound. In the earlier videos, you see me shift a sound in the wind sounds with the tailbone and keep a sound more constant with the O sounds of using the pelvis. But I could do any of that anywhere. This time I'm consciously going to choose to shift the sound. I often find it's useful to shift the sound when I can't feel the vibrations of it, because I'll shift it and because some certain sort of frequency of vibration, quite literally, will be more palpable in different areas of the body, and then I can use that known point to shift back into another sound or another vibration that I'm making. So, eng, 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 eng. I'm going to touch my pubic bone, my pubic symphysis, right? And remember that we have the meeting of the two pelvic halves here, and we have this piece of cartilage in the center, and the piece of cartilage is what I'm going to focus my awareness on this time. So we've felt all this before, so you can go ahead and find and locate that place. Right? So I'm doing that in different ways, right? It's one way to tactilely, kinesthetically from the outside in find it. It's another way to inner kinesthetically find it from the inside out. It's another way to find the image of it in my mind. It's another way to feel the way a vibration moves through it, right? Rhythm and different things. So go ahead and find your pubic bone in as many ways as you can. And I'm going to follow this process, and the sound will sound something like this. If you were watching me closely through that, you may have noticed near the end there was a point where my whole body started to shift and move. At that moment, my image of my body and my perception of the kinesthetic sense inside actually shifted. And I felt as though I really released and allowed the cartilage to begin vibrating. And as I did that, I felt instantly a relationship to the back of my head, sort of at the base of my skull, and this sort of brought in the whole awareness of the spine. Although that was a little more hazy than those two endpoints. And as I kept following the sound and making the vibration a little different, I felt emotion begin to arise in the body. This is something like, I think in Continuum, Emily Conrad's work, they call wave motion. or she did at one point in her career call it wave motion. And it's this sort of underlying movement that I can't teach or explain, or it just starts happening. So I encourage you to begin to include this process of movement and exploring touch, feel, and sound to this place where the movement sort of happens, because I think that's the place where the body really can find its own way of healing and growing and changing in the way that it's best suited towards. So it doesn't happen in every video because it doesn't always arise, but you saw the first sort of arising of this different sort of motion that can happen through the touch and sound process. So I encourage you to explore that. If you enjoyed this video, sign up for the InBody Space newsletter and share the link with a friend. You can also find original content on Facebook and Instagram.